As the comic book industry crashes and burns and everyone tries to find a life raft, Marvel manages to get a lot of interest in New Warriors. They generate 912,000 clicks, almost 205,000 votes. The only problem is, all this is almost negative and it can't help them in any way. So hey there, today you and I return to that wonderful world of comic book coverage to talk about New Warriors hitting 200,000 downvotes and what exactly that means. So before we get started, two quick things. Number one, like this content, consider subscribing to the channel and checking out the links in the description. I don't like shilling the channel, but at the same time, this platform does not like any of us, so yeah, check that out. Also, if you can't find basic necessities in this time of uncertainty, make sure that you're asking for help. That includes myself. I can't help you with the big things like rent and on, but there are programs out there that can, but I can try to help with things like bread, canned goods, and on, because you know what, from my family to your family, we're all in this together, and you are noticed and appreciated. So I think most people are aware of this by now, but just in case you aren't, the comic book industry is in dire disarray. As this article from The Hollywood Reporter points out, for the first time, the comic book industry, the entire thing, considering the mainstream, is on hold. That's because Diamond Comic Distributors, the only distributor of comic books, is closed down for the foreseeable future, meaning you can still make comic books at Marvel, DC, IDW, and on, but there's no way to get them to comic book shops. Now that's led people like Donnie Cates, for example, a guy working at Marvel Comics, to about face and to take statements like this: "I'm so sorry that I haven't come out against Comicsgate stuff by now. I don't have a good excuse, except that I try to keep my timeline casual and fun, but no one is going to use my art to promote something that has attacked my friends. I'm not about that. Beep. Full stop. And also, so wait, I'm the a-hole if I speak out about Comicsgate, talking about tens of thousands of consumers, to joyous little interludes like this."
I do believe that if you and I could actually have a conversation, that we could come to some sort of accord where we can not hurt each other, and we could figure out, I don't know. That's the conversation, right? And look, you're not going to get this from fucking Scott Snyder. You're not going to get this from anybody else. Like, I'm actually trying to fucking, reach out here, all right? I'm sure that you and I did disagree on a lot. I'm sure that there's a lot that we agree on. And I'd like to have that conversation.
By the way, that has got to be totally humiliating, finding the industry crashing around you and begging the people that you've called ists and phobes basically to find common ground now. Yeah, no thanks. All of that desperation out there, all of that uncertainty, and what does Marvel do? They drop things like New Warriors 2020, and they actually think that this is positive publicity. Now, the funny thing about it is, if we were talking about traffic alone, that would actually be right. If you look at the numbers they typically bring in, you have things as low as 14,000 views on clips. And besides the periodic upshot from something like, say, The History of Vision and the Scarlet Witch, at 240K, nothing comes anywhere close to that 920K views unless it's a movie. When movies come out, you'll have a lot of people gravitate toward a trailer. But again, other than that, when we're talking about comic books, nothing comes close. In fact, a lot of the discussion you see, like with, say, Joe Quesada these days or C.B. Cebulski, people that are in charge, they don't even really talk about comics. They talk about foodstuffs. They talk about things in their environment. They talk about everything but their product. And let's be honest, that's because typically comic books, they don't generate traffic. But this was different. If you look at Shoe on Head, for example, we're talking about 590,000 views. Nerdrotic, one day, 100K views. Ricky Gervais being laughing at this from just some guy, 226,000 views. Critical Drinker, almost 400,000 there. The Quartering, over 400,000. Some Ordinary Gamer, 566,000. And the list, it goes on and on and on. The interesting thing that you'll notice in this too is you have people that enjoy comics, that don't enjoy comics. They're all talking about comic books, but the sad thing in here is what type of attention you're getting. See, that amount of negative attention, it's almost mind-blowing too. But then when you look at the ratioing on the video itself, I think that says plenty as well. 4,198 votes currently up, 200,201 down. 200 freaking thousand downvotes on a video, and Marvel's out there still wondering, hey, what exactly went wrong? What was absolutely hilarious about this is that Marvel, they acted like Marvel typically would. With Donny Cates there, the one now calling for a truce, by the way, pointing his finger and lambasting consumers because they didn't like what was offered. At first, you can see that. To my LGBTQ and non-binary friends, let me say that this tweet was 100% aimed at people who are offended by the inclusive nature of the book itself. You can see that he went on the attack, then he had to go on the apology tour, and then he finally deletes it. Okay, I deleted the original tweet in this thread. My intent was to make fun of all the bigots and the people making hateful comments toward the book. But obviously, my intent doesn't matter if my wording was hurtful to my non-binary and LGBTQ friends and fans. Apologies, guys. Yeah, because basically, you step in it there just like Marvel, and well, you have to try to dig yourself out somehow, right? And that's the thing, too, and a beautiful thing that it was. When these folks, they went on the attack trying to say, hey, you're just an hysterophobe if you don't like this. Yeah, look at who they were talking to. You can see the, Snowflake is the new non-binary character from Marvel. They were created by, well, the more that I think about the fact that queer creators get grilled and have to endlessly justify including people like themselves in stories and get told they're harming their selves, but some cis straight dude can do this beep without any pushback at all, the angrier I get. 1,634 likes at the time this was taken, well over 400 retweets on it, and the arguments and the anger, they just keep going on and on. But of course, they were just laughing at the bigots, right? Even shill media that goes out and defends these folks at every turn decided to turn on them this time with articles like this coming from Bleeding Cool. How do you do, fellow kids? Meet Marvel's Gen Z, New Warriors, Snowflake, Screen Time, SAFESPACE, and more. What was funny about it is they were making good points in this too. The point is that young people can tell you're not one of them, even if you haven't figured it out yourself. But Marvel, hoping as always to appeal to the young people by having old men write books starring teenage characters, has enlisted 36-year-old boomer writer Daniel Kibblesmith to create a team of new warriors with 37-year-old artists, and the results are, well, just take a look yourself. And you notice what kind of artwork you get in there? Oh, man, I have to love that. But yeah, when you look at these characters, you can tell why people weren't exactly thrilled with that. Because if you're going to go and say, hey, this is my brand new non-binary character, the first one ever, do you think that this is positive representation? Do you think, in fact, that there's anything positive about these characters at all? When you go through, too, and you look at the other characters, you have generic ones here. For example, you have one powered by internet gas, experimental internet gas, where basically, I guess, you fart Wi-Fi. And then, of course, you have someone like this, positive body archetype with a magic backpack, because that's not offensive somehow to Native Americans. But yeah, I digress. And my point in bringing all of this up is this. As Marvel and Marvel Pros celebrate this milestone with 200,000 downvotes and over 47,000 people probably marking this thing, they should ask themselves this. Is it the current social situations that killed this marketplace? Or is it products like this and the reaction by Marvel pros that did it? Because you know what? As a consumer, I wouldn't open my wallet up to this. And even if I would have, the way that their pros reacted, yeah, they turned me off to not only this product, but the entire market in general. But that's been going on for years. That's the thing, isn't it? And it's eye-opening when you see it like this. But anyway, you tell me what you think about all this crazy. So to close, I want to sincerely say thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. You really do make this stuff possible. Without you, it would not work, so thank you. I don't want to monopolize your time either, but I do want to thank you for it because you know what? That thing, it's more precious than anything, and you spending it here, yeah, that's definitely appreciated. Anyway, we'll be doing this again soon, so I hope you check that out. And yeah, until next time.